Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's E3 Mentality webinar. This is a strategy webinar of advanced training for those of you who are passionate about Solavei. Now, if you're listening for the first time this evening, we encourage you to tap into one of our Solavei Scoop webinars on Mondays or one of our mini socials at socials.solavei.com every weeknight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and you can actually hear what is Solavei from our very own CEO and founder, Ryan Wirch. Tonight, however, our E3 Mentality Strategy webinar is designed to educate, equip, and empower you in growing a massive network. My name is Stacey Wallace, and it is my absolute joy to be a social executive 3 with Solavei and having the privilege of working with some incredible leaders around the United States. And tonight, you have got a treat in store for you. And I've posted it in my Facebook, Google Plus. I've just in all my social spaces that tonight is going to be the best training webinar that we have ever done with Solavei, because tonight we have got 5, actually 6 of some of the creme de la creme of Solavei, the top producers, folks that in the last 30 days have absolutely exploded their business. And tonight you're going to hear from them. Now, what I've asked them to do is come with 3 bullets, 3 ahas that have taken place for them over the last 30 days. Now, over the last 30 days, many of you have seen that we went on a city-to-city tour, hitting the cities of these leaders, working with their teams, and really digging deep to create massive, massive action. Now, over the course of the last 30 days, we've been on something called a push. And what a push is, a 30-day push means that you lay everything aside, you create all-out massive action, you tell your family, look, we're going to do this for 30 days, we're going to make some sacrifices, shut off the TV, give up a couple of social events, and really do everything we can do to not only build personally, but also build depth into our teams. And tonight, you're going to get to hear how that has resulted in explosive growth for these 6 members. And tonight, our very first speaker is none other than James Linhart, Social Director 1, and Rico Solavei, I like to call him in his white jacket, single man traveling all over the United States right now. Please help us welcome James Linhart to the webinar. James, are you there?
Thank you, Stacey. Yes, I'm here with you.
Tell us, James, what has this last 30 days meant to you personally and to your business?
Well, Stacey, I mean, it's been quite an incredible journey of many facets of business, of emotions, of having fun. One of the things when you first approached me with this coaching program, I said, oh, cool, that looks like something that would be fun to do. That was my first reaction. I said, oh, cool, we can make some things, we can build some tools, because I love building tools. And then all of a sudden it got really serious when it was like, okay, well, you're going to have to give your numbers every week and you're going to have to produce. And I was like, wait a minute, no, I just want to do the fun part. I want to make the tools and talk to my team, and I want to do that stuff. And you're like, no, if you want to show up, you've got to go get your trio. And so I was scared, and I'm not one of those people. The reason I love this industry is because I can't have a boss. I can't have somebody that tells me what to do. I can't have somebody go every week, and that was something I had to overcome, because me giving my numbers to Stacey or someone else giving their numbers to their person or coach that they're working with, it's for your benefit. It's not for Stacey's benefit. But that was one of the things I just wanted before we kind of go into this. I was scared out of my mind knowing that I was going to have to give my numbers every week. And then one of the other speakers on the line today came on, Miss Laura Wells, and it's been doing a trio or more a week for the last 4 weeks we've been doing this, and it's been incredible, because now it's lit a fire under me, it's lit a fire under my team, because I went out and did it. And over the last 30 days, I've really put together an idea of how I did what I did, because I got to look at now the first 90-day cycle over the summer when we started with Solavei, and now this new 90-day cycle with Stacey and with our team. And I'm really getting to be able to see what are the pieces of it. And really, I've made it as simple as pie, is what I call it. And really what it comes down to, the first thing when you go, I want to go on massive action, I want to go rank advance, I want to really make Solavei my home, the first thing you have to do is you have to plan. What does that mean? Well, you got to find out what your why is. Your why has to be emotional. Saying that, hey, I'm going to become an E3 is not an emotional thing. Me saying that I want to create 1,000 on my team by the end of 2013, I get goosebumps and chills when I think about it. That's an emotional thing to me. And I know the easiest way I can do that is to go produce the results and become an executive 3, because if I become an executive 3, that means there's directors and connectors and networkers in the whole of our thing. Because as you can tell, I've given up my home. I mean, my car's in storage. I'm not a guy I'm not in this to go make $30,000 a month and have cars and boats and things like that. I'm in this to make an impact on millions of lives. And so that's what juices me. So you got to know your why, put together your plan, and have belief in it yourself. Because the next thing is probably one of the hardest things, and it's inform. So if we talk about PI, P is plan, I is inform. And what I mean by inform is once you have your plan and you believe your plan, so you go, you know what, I believe this with all my heart, I can do this in the next 30 or 90 days, whatever it is, then you have to go to all the people in your life. You have to go to your family. You have to go to your friends. You have to go to anyone that's coworkers. If you own a business, you have to go to those, share your plan, not to really kind of say, well, this is what Solavei is. You're going and letting them know and setting the expectations, going, guys, I'm going to do this for the next 30 days, and I need you on board with me. Not in Solavei terms, I need you to go get new members and things like that. Emotional level, I have to let you know I might be showing up differently for the next 30 days. I might have to not go to the game on Saturday. I might not be able to go to the recital on Thursday. And you have to set that expectation out there, because the more people that you can get on your team around you, emotionally and physically, the easier it's going to be. And the last one you have to go to is you have to go to your team. Because once you have your goals, you got, here's my goal. My goal is to become an executive 3 in the next 90 days. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to create 2 directors. We're going to have over 12,000 members in our organization. You're going to have 1,000. You're going to have 1,000. And you make it so your team goes, okay, I see what he's going to do, and that's what I'm going to do in order to make that happen. So you get all these people to buy in on board now, and who you can talk to over the next 30 days, because your time is very, very precious. Last and final thing is always execute. So we've got plan, we've got inform, and we've got execute. Simple pie. And execute is more than just going out and performing. A huge part of it is, of course, going out performing, but it's always constantly having that question ringing your brain. What else can I do? Where else can I be? Who else can I help? Whenever you're tired and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I always go, what else can I do? I know, make a new tool. I can send more emails out. I can outreach manager. I can go on Facebook and fish. What else can I do? And again, this is for a certain season, a certain time period of your life. This is not, I'm going to do this for the next 3 years and then we'll see what happens at the end. This is for a 30, 60, 90-day period. And when we did in this 30-day period, I mean, I can't even tell you what's gone on inside our team, because now people have pipelines still. I get texts of all these lists of things going on, and a lot of it's personal production, but it's a lot of personal production from a lot of people. And the only reason that happened was because I got up and I said, you know what? I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go get a trio a week. Now, I didn't get a trio the first week. I didn't get a trio the second week. I got a trio the third week and the final week. So it's not something that's magically going to happen. It's something you have to work at, and you have to go do it. I do have a tool for everyone that we'll be able to send out to everyone on here. And it's something that I've come up with over the last couple of days, and really put what the basics are of this whole pie theory that I have going on here. And it allows you to kind of track and see what you need to do to go to the next step. But thank you so much for having me on the call, Stacey. Hopefully I was able to give a couple of nuggets. I'm excited to hear all the other speakers. I'm going to listen to the recording afterwards because I have to go down and attend to the social we have downstairs. But thank you so much for having me on.
What would you say was the biggest aha that you had in these 30 days that has allowed you to really just get up and take all out massive action?
I think the biggest aha was that I need to go do it. I mean, I've been in this business for a long time, and I've always built great teams and systems and tools and training. But for this revolution to take place, I had to go do it. I had to go, I'm going to get a trio a week. And I don't like doing that. But now I like it after 30 days. Why do I like it? Well, because I'm getting results. So I think that's the biggest thing. And now we've got people and myself. I'm even transitioning in my brain. I could have never, ever could have thought this would be possible. 30 days ago, but I'm programming myself, and my team's coming to me now, go, we're going to get a trio a day. A personal trio a day is now going to become the new mantra of our team, not because it's ludicrous or because it's out there, but it's because it works. Because the more people that buy into that, the more people you're going to have producing. It's really amazing. So that would be the biggest aha was, I don't like to do personal production, but sometimes you got to do what you don't like to get what you want. And that's what we've done over the last 30 days. So thank you so much, Stacy. And also thank you so much for all the people that were in the group with us, because I learned so much from Laura. One of the reasons I'm in Dallas, even though I've kind of told her, but it's to pick her brain, because you're going to get some really great nuggets from her tonight. So it's going to be a great webinar for everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you, James. And guys, one of the things that happened in this space is these leaders, every one of them are $1 million producing leaders in the industry. They're just incredible, whether it's in corporate America or whether it's in direct sales, network marketing. You're going to hear from Laura Wells, who has a major, massive women's network. These are people who show up really strong in their lives, in their space. Here's what's interesting. Week after week, I would ask people, and there was a list of things that we were holding each other accountable. And I would say, okay, did you check your PC1s, your personal connections one? Did you go to your follow-up of your one-aways? Have you gotten a trio this week? What I found was a lot of times leaders like to show up in a space and say, you know what, I'm training my team right now. I'm actually working with my people and I'm trying to help my people. We showed up at multiple events across the nation and I heard that over and over again. Well, I'm not really getting a trio because right now I'm trying to help my people get trios. Let me just tell you something. No one wants a world manager. They want world leaders. And you may say, well, Stacy, yeah, but I really just want to dig in and help. You know what? That is an excuse for somebody who does not want to perform. And James, what was so incredible was he said the first week it was a little difficult. He had to show up and, with his pride card and say, no, I didn't get my trio. Second week, no, I didn't get my trio. Well, all the while, at the time, was one of the lower ranked people was Laura Wells, every week getting her trio. Then she got 2 trios. And next thing you know, the last shall be first, the first shall be last. Now James is saying, Laura, can I pick your brain? Because he's gathering from the energy of someone that right now is out there crushing it with personal enrollments. Don't ever allow yourself to get stuck in the rut of I'm just going to manage my people, because people want to see you showing up saying, hey guys, I got my trio this week. Now, can I help you? Because if you put the personal production out there first, then turn and help, what happens is that push, pull, push yourself to get the trio, then pull and help your team do the same. But if you're just in pulling, eventually everybody's going to look at you and go, well, now, wait a minute. You keep telling me what to do, but you're not doing it yourself. So they turn and they start pulling. And next thing you know, you see stagnation in your network. I love the activity I see in James's network. If you guys are watching these socials, you're going to see his team over and over and over again now supporting these socials because they're all taking personal responsibility for this revolution, the 1 million member march, and they're all making it happen by pushing people towards these socials. So excellent job, James. And you guys are going to get to have that download of the pie sheet that you see there, how simple he's really made it. Well, our next speaker is Social Networker 3, incredible leader. He has not only been an incredible asset to the company from day one of the original founding members, but he is also an incredible leader and trainer. Now, tonight, what I've asked these guys to do is don't go into training mode. We want to talk authentically about where we've been and where we're going and how these last 30 days, because see, here's what's great. If in 30 days, a leader can turn their world around, then that means in 30 days, you can do the same. If you've been stuck in a rut or you haven't gotten your first trio, you're still trying to get that first person. These leaders, everybody goes through those same seasons, and these leaders are going to tell you how they've been able to get out of that season and move into something brand new. So I think we've got with us now Gary Craig on the line. Gary, are you with us?
Yes, Stacey, I'm here with you, and it's great to be with you as always.
So let's jump into it. Tell us, what were your big ahas over the last 30 days, and what are you going to leave with us today?
Well, thank you, Stacey, for having me on tonight. It's wonderful, and I also want to thank you for inviting me to participate with you over these last 30 days, and it has been absolutely incredible. I've seen tremendous growth in my team. In fact, the biggest month ever for the team overall. But the biggest aha moment that I had was a combination of moments, actually, particularly my experience in the profession of network marketing. Whenever I've struggled in any capacity in life or in this profession, I've always made it a habit to go back to the basics. And so the first of really my three ahas was get back to the basics of what has actually proven to be the most efficient and effective way to build this business. And so you see on the screen here, back to basics. And what's really incredible is the fact that the only way to make money with Solavei, enroll and to enroll a lot. Face-to-face, belly-to-belly is absolutely critical. Ultimately, through that process, which I'll tell you momentarily, is enrolling and enrolling a lot. That is the name of the game. The money-making activities that I have found that are the absolute most proven, powerful, and effective way to build this kind of business is four things. Develop a list. A dynamic means it's active. You got people going out because either they've joined you or they're not interested. And then you do it. You absolutely learn the skill, the most important skill of inviting to tools. And what I love about Solavei are the fantastic tools that we have. Following up, and the natural result is going to be either they'll enroll, they'll join your business if they get it, or they won't. And the result, either one of those results, is okay. And so these basics I have found in my success in my career that are going to be the most effective and most consistent way to work in actually building a business. And I may touch on the fact that clear back in May, it seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Back in May, Stacy, last year, when all of us were informed that we were one of the 12 and invited to participate and really launch a revolution, I brought in 12 people. And those 12 people have turned into a massive group today. And I couldn't be more happy and grateful. And so this last month and now as we go forward, the time is to continue that process of inviting, following up, and enrolling. And really the last thing that was a major aha for me this month, which is exciting as possibly can be, and that is be bold. And you and I talked about this the other day, Stacy. Be bold. The real takeaway here is it's a heck of a lot easier to build this kind of a business, to build Solavei, to build your Solavei business by taking massive and doing it fast in groups. And then maybe take a small breather and then get at it again. But first 90 days, 90-day blast, as we often call it, found to be the most effective way to really significantly grow and exciting momentum in your own personal business. So those are the three takeaways that I've learned, and I couldn't be more excited. We're looking ahead to go forward, and I've got some of my key leaders that today actually achieved major rank advancements, and just very excited to be part of something incredibly special with Solavei.
Well, Gary, let me just ask you real quick. I know that it's interesting because you're such a transparent leader, one of the top leaders in the company. Love that about you. Love the fact that you've got industry experience and you bring so much to the value of Solavei. And I know recently you've gone through some personal setbacks, relationship changes, and that can kick you in the gut sometimes, and it can leave you stunned. What do I do? Where do I go now? Personally, James even went through the same thing this month. And what I love about you guys, and this is why I say, follow a leader worth following. A leader, we all fall down, but it's that we get back up. And the beautiful part, Gary, is you have been building such a successful network, and no one would ever know that the world is going on around you and other things are happening. And the beautiful part about this type of industry is that it keeps growing. That being bold, I feel like even after these last 30 days, that something has taken place inside of you that, like a lion, you're getting up in a way that I haven't seen even from the beginning of the company. I'm feeling a momentum, a surge of energy, and a strength from you like never before. Tell me about that, and then tell us what you're going to be kicking out to the people as a content give.
You bet. I appreciate you bringing that up, Stacy, and to be quite candid with everyone, and I'm always an open book, because I think being real and telling the story of who you are not only important for myself, but it gives me an opportunity to perhaps even teach or inspire a few others that have been through something similar. The bottom line is we all have challenges, we all have difficulties. Life is a roller coaster. And the last 2 years have been some of the most difficult times of my life. And you know, when you get kicked in the teeth, you get down, whether I've created that or not. And there is a process that tends to, if you allow it to really fester, it can really damage your confidence. And I would say I let some of that happen, to be very candid. And I have found in my life, however, the only way to break out of that is to do so with great gusto, number one. And number two, whatever your fears are, one of my most favorite sayings by Ralph Waldo Emerson is this to me is poetic. It's beautiful, and it is also true. But the only way to overcome fear is do the thing you fear to do, and the death of that fear is certain. So for anyone who's experienced any kind of angst or fear or intrepidation or confidence, the case may be, of approaching people and inviting them to take a look at the Solavei business. Guys, I'm here to tell you the only way to overcome that is just to do it, do a lot of it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And as far as the takeaway that I have to share, it's basically a review of these most critical and basic principles that, again, I have found to be the most efficient and effective and proven way to build and actually make money and build a big business with Solavei. Guys, the foundation of that process is, just like James Lanehart explained a moment ago, having a solid why and purpose that is founded upon really blessing and changing and affecting for good people's lives. And when you do that, else will come along with it. And that means the growth in your business, the income, the rewards that come with that income, all of the blessings that you're seeking to create will come into your life as you do these things with the proper intention and really the real reason why we're doing this. And
Awesome.
Again, Stacy, I appreciate you and all the work you're doing. You're a true inspiration and leader for all of us. It's just a pleasure to work with you, my dear.
Incredible, Gary. Well, thank you for that. And I know that there's a lot of folks, tonight we could be talking, and we're going to talk a little bit about some detailed semantics, online marketing and blogging. And we're going to talk about being able to maximize through scripts. We got some of that coming up. But I love the fact, Gary, that we can show up in a transparent place, because I think at the end of the day, people might look and go, oh my goodness, Stacey Wallace, Social Executive 3 after 5 months. How did she do it? She must be a rock star. The truth of the matter is, yeah, I'm a warrior, but the warrior's made of flesh. I used to sing a song when I was a little girl called The Warrior is a Child. And on the inside of us, every one of us, we need the motivation, inspiration, emotional stimulus, as well as the tools and tactics. Because if we only become about tools and tactics and marketing, we lose the fact that we're human beings powered by relationships. And so, Gary, I just want you to know how much I appreciate the relationship we've been able to create as a result of Solavei with you and my family, and look forward to great things. I know that you are very close to ramping up to that Social Executive 3 position, and I really look forward to celebrating you all the way. Very next with us, we have got Karen and Randy Imhoff. Now, they're Social Networkers 1. Karen and Randy are absolute incredible leaders. They're very successful in the world of business. They have had many, many years of success. They have actually run kiosks all over the United States and outside of Apple stores, so they are no strangers to the world of mobile. But what I love is the takeaways and the ahas that they had over these last 30 days, allowing themselves to come in very transparent and raw and saying, hey, let's go to another level. When you let yourself think, instead of going, well, I've got everything I need, I'm good. When you come into a space and say, hey, how can I be better? Just like James said at the final point, what can I do more than I was doing yesterday? You'll see that you will increase, and so will your team. So Karen and Randy, are you with us?
We are here.
Yes, we are.
Okay, excellent.
Great to be here too, and I'm looking at that picture, Stacey. Like I have a headdress on in that picture right there.
Well, tell us about what's happened to you guys in the last 30 days, and what are some of the takeaways that you've had that you can share with the others?
Well, Stacey, let me just say thanks again, just like everyone else, for what an incredible last 30 days this has been. What an eye-opening experience it's been. I think often when we get in that mode of, like you said, the management, of people, we just kind of get comfortable there. And for us, having heard about this, I think we were one of the first people you ever told, and had to kind of keep it under locks for a little bit, and then when we were ready to start talking and all the anticipation of getting started with Solavei, it just seemed like, then the rush of people that came in, we just had to start taking care of the people. And I think we did get out of that mode at first. And quite honestly, our first point being to keep the pipeline full, I think we kind of let our pipeline kind of go empty, because kind of like Gary and even James said, in that first week when you were asking us for our numbers, and I was like, the reminder of that, oh my goodness, she's going to be asking me for my numbers. I got to show up here. And the pipeline run dry. And I know better than that. It just really rang my bell again to know I did not have numbers to show up 2 weeks. And darn it, if I would, just that tears me up just to have to show up without what I know I needed to do. And it really did kick me into gear again. But the process has to be consistent. It can't be just, one avenue of filling the pipeline. You have to be on the phone with people, be on Facebook with people, get people out in the field, people that you're meeting when you're doing carpool, when you're going to the dry cleaners, wherever you go in life, it fills the pipeline. And then the next thing, to fish where the fish are hungry. I mean, what a boring experience to sit with a pole out there and nothing's bobbing, you're not getting any action on the hook. You got to pack up your stuff and move to another pond and find a place where the people, where the fish are hungry. And we've fished in some ponds where, we have worn them out. I think everybody's been feeding them morning, noon, and night. And we just had to move to a new area. And sometimes we do that with friends and family. Sometimes those of us who are real passionate entrepreneurs, our families have seen us come and go through many different things. And sometimes we need to let them watch things happen before we can go back into that pond and fish again. We just had to find some new places. And we did. In fact, kind of exciting to say, of our initial first 12 that we brought in, there was only one from the area where we live, and all the other 11 were spread around the United States. And so we are very intentionally, some prior history that we've had with losing an organization because it was all in the city where we lived. We've decided we're building a nationwide organization from the get-go. So moving around to the different places where you can find people that are hungry for the message that you have. And you know what? If they don't take it the first time, you go back another time when maybe the temperature's a little different there. But you have to move on. You can't take that as personal rejection.
Let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I want to just bring light to the fact that you just made a statement that's pretty big, actually, because you guys live in a very low coverage area. And a lot of folks want to know, man, how am I supposed to represent this if I don't live in a high coverage area? And you have been extremely smart in the development of y'all's business to fish where the fish are, fish where they're biting, fish where they're hungry. Well, obviously, if you're in an area where there's not coverage, you probably don't want to make that your pond. You probably want to go out. And when you said don't want to have all your fishing in one pond, your last company that you were with, you built an entire organization. We're making thousands and tens of thousands of dollars a month. And then all of a sudden, Hurricane Katrina came and wiped out your city where all of your people were. And they were scattered into the United States, and it killed your business because people couldn't get on the phone. They didn't have homes anymore. And so you've learned diversification. And I love that when you're fishing, you want to make sure not only are you fishing in different areas, but you want to be using different bait for different areas. So some of you are belly to belly marketers. Some of you are online marketers. Some of you love landing pages. You're going to love the system that is going to be released potentially tomorrow. You're going to hear great things. The landing pages, the opt-in pages, the ability to use online marketing, blogging. Some of you love going out and just sitting at a coffee shop and connecting with people. It's important for you to have different ponds. Don't stick in one pond. Don't put all your efforts into online marketing. Don't put all your efforts into Facebook. Don't put all your efforts into belly to belly marketing. We are going to teach you over the course of the next number of weeks. We're going to continue teaching how to use all different ponds and all different baits in order to increase your chances of productivity and conversion. So Karen, that is awesome. Okay, give us, what is that third thing that obviously is probably the most important?
She wanted me to speak. This is Randy. She wanted me to speak to this. And man, I have so enjoyed what's been said so far tonight. It's, it's an E3 mentality. And what I'm hearing is the mentality that various people have and they're bringing to the table here. And I appreciate the kind introduction that you gave us, Stacy, but the truth be told that when we entered into this last 30 days, we were in need of this program. I mean, we were at a place in life where things are fairly comfortable. We have a nice business. We got grandkids. We live in a low coverage area, so I can't really just go out to my neighbors and talk about Solavei. But be that as it may, to never stop being in the field, this whole thing woke me up about, over the last 30 days that I need to get in the game. And I am getting in the game. And we might be social network to one right now, but we're not going to stay here for very long. We have a lot of things cooking. I leave tomorrow, and I'm going to Louisville. I've got some things going on there, and when I leave there, I'm going to Chicago, and we've come across a few people in Chicago that are just chomping at the bit and are very influential people to get involved with this business. So I think it's worth my while to personally go there. Yeah, waking up and just never stop being in the field. It's massive action. It's all the things that have been said tonight, and just getting in the game with the mentality that we're here for a purpose, to be involved with Solavei, and we need to fulfill that purpose. We can influence lives in so many lives. I have to say the 30 days that we've been involved in this program have really transformed our mentality.
Well, I know that you guys have so much to give, and you're doing so much right now. I love the fact that you guys are not afraid to go out there and get, like you said, be in the field. A lot of folks stay at home, and if you're going to do that, that's fantastic. You're going to need to be online because you want to constantly keep, like they said, keep the pipeline full. What we found with each of these leaders is if the pipeline was very sparse, maybe you've talked to one or two or three people personally, then you're probably not going to have high production numbers over the course of the next 30, 60, 90 days. And, no one wants to be in sales. Certainly we didn't sign up to be in sales, but let's face it. I mean, I married my husband because I gave him a really good sales line to make him think that I was the one he should marry. Life is about sales. You sell every day. You sell your kids on doing their homework, on eating their vegetables. Life is about communication. It's about relationships. And what we do when we're looking at putting people in the funnel, I personally don't like funnels, so I think of it like fishing. When I go out and I put the chum out, I like deep sea fishing. So when I put the chum out, or the videos, or my landing pages, or I put posts on Facebook, or I go out into the field, as Randy has said, I'm going out there and I'm taking bait to the market. And then I have to allow that bait to do its work, basically do the attraction job for me, so that eventually I get a fish on. And then it's my job to follow up. That's how you reel. You follow up, you send more videos, you connect with them, you find out what they need, what are their questions. And the ultimate goal is to be a fisher of men, is to go out there, because what we know is when people are getting into Solavei and they're getting that first trio and then they're getting their free cell service, it's changing their lives. We're hearing it person after person after person, how Solavei is not just about mobile service. It really has been a life-changing experience for so many people. Well, our next speaker, of course, you guys have heard him many times, and he's been such a joy to have on the 10-day tour, to be a part of not only a time of focus and intention and push with but also with his gorgeous wife, Jennifer Gooden. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about their story and what their big ahas have been over the last 30 days that you're going to be able to implement in your next 30 days. Nathan, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so I do want to say my heart is certainly filled with thanks to Stacy. She has been absolutely amazing, and it really shows the heart of a person when they pour into someone and help someone when they have nothing to gain. And Stacy has done that with myself, and really, I will say, put a spark back in where I think that it had waned somewhat. And which is my first point, and that is lead by example. And I think that Stacy really helped us get back on track. When we were building the lane and going through the process of getting everyone knowledgeable about a company that had not launched, the excitement was there, and it was because something that no one had been a part of, and we were getting great attraction, and then we went into it, and we were building our network but weren't going after it. And as Randy said, we needed to get back in the game. And so that's what my first point or aha moment I will say in the last 30 days was getting back in the game and leading by example. And that goes down to, as Stacy said, getting a trio a week. I think that Jennifer and I had really gone into the mode of helping everyone in our network versus really focusing of leading by example and making sure that we were getting new people in and energized and doing socials and doing, what the way we love to build the business, and that is through socials. We built our lane and the initial parts of our organization by doing events at our house on a weekly basis, and we got out of that mode, and Stacy helped ignite that fire to get back in the mode for February, and in the last 30 days we've seen a significant increase because of that. Number two, and this is really, Stacy has helped us see the magnitude of maximizing your brand. And she, if you have followed Stacy at all online, has done an amazing job at maximizing her brand. And I will say, we have not done a great job of this. And in the last 30 days, we've made a huge transition to do that. And, my background is CFO, COO of multiple companies, and, really have stepped away from that background to go into this industry and help people build their business, but not really thinking the fact of how I could bring my background to maximize not only my own network, but maximize those people in my network's business. And secondly, Jennifer, we haven't really utilized her at all. She's a former Miss America. She was Miss America 2006 and traveled the nation speaking, and is a magnificent speaker. And we just, because we've been so focused on so many other areas of life, have not really maximize that. And so, from setting up blogs to setting up social sites, websites that really cater to the organizations and groups of people that we can best address. Like, a great example is if you're a soccer mother, to set up avenues to talk to soccer moms, because that is who you most relate to. And so that's a huge aha, I will say, and probably the biggest aha of the three is maximizing our brand. The third is developing a plan and seeking out those people that are hungry. This is the first thing that Stacy did with me, and this is one of the things that I'm going to deliver to everyone from a transparency standpoint. I'm going to wipe away the names, but I am going to show what Stacy did with me personally to find the people that were hungriest to build the business, looking at my existing organization and going, sometimes 3-4 layers deep into the organization to find those people that wanted to do this. We signed up a lot of people that are really enjoying the service but have no desire to build a network. And I won't say we're wasting our time, but we were probably spending not the most fruitful time and productive time with those people, instead of spending it with people that we can pour into to help grow their business. And so what we did at the beginning is we literally put me at the top, and then we created 6 circles and put those people within the organization that were going to help maximize our network to grow it the quickest, and then looked into theirs and did the same thing. And that's what I want to actually give to the network. I'm going to draw that out and deliver it so that you can see, so you can replicate doing that same thing and looking at where they're at, whether they're a social partner 3, a social connector 3, social networker 1, and then what it's going to take for them to go to the next level. Because if you look at, I want to go from when we started the social networker 1 to social executive 3. To social executive 3, I need 2,000 trios, and so identifying where those trios are going to come from, instead of just putting people in the network and building a big network, but not necessarily building it strategically where you're going to move up in PathPay to get to whatever your goal is. So Stacy, I would say those are my 3 big ahas, and I will give credit where credit is due, because I was building a network from lack of knowledge, I will say, in this industry, and building it from the background that I had, but Stacy really helped elevate me to a new level, and now I'm doing the exact same thing with the people that I'm working with, and continuing that process.
And thank you, Nathan, for that. And I'm watching right now, even what's happening down in Texas with your team down there in McAllen, Texas. It's like an explosion is taking place. The folks that we met with in your team, wow, what amazing hearts, passion. I mean, we met with folks that were part of the police force folks that'll sit in front of you and just tears in their eyes, big burly men, tears in their eyes, telling us their why Solavei is so important to them, and the nonprofit outreaches that they want this money to affect. I got to tell you, when you look for those people that are willing to, get a few little bloody knuckles, or maybe they fall down and get up, but they're determined, they're so hungry for this and to have change in their lives and the lives of others, that they're willing to dig deep and make it happen. And Nathan, you and Jennifer, your brand is amazing. I think that Solavei is going to see so much of you guys. I know that we're creating a special blog for Jennifer, being a mom now, and Miss America. It's just incredible what you guys are going to bring to Solavei and what you already are bringing to Solavei, but I certainly look forward to more and have just such an immense amount of respect for both of you. So thank you so much. And our next speaker, and we're also very excited about that give that you're giving, free content, how to actually identify in your organization, guys, the people that you need to be really working with. And of course, you work with everybody, but you do want to have some rifle focus and not just shotgun focus as you're developing strategy. I think if you ever met with anybody that's a high income earner in any type of direct sales or social sharing model, you'll find that they're not just random. They're very strategic. They're very structured. I know personally, and one of these days I'll share a training with you on what are the things that people had to do to when they were on their very first call with me when we started this, because James said it scared me because there's strategy that you want to have in developing your business, even though it's simple. Solavei is extremely simple, but it also gives you an edge if you understand strategy and building out numbers and building out networks. So we're certainly going to continue sharing that going forward. Well, our next speaker is none other than Laura Wells, Social Networker One. Now, I mentioned her earlier because Laura came in kind of like the child amongst these ginormous founding members, and brand new Social Networker One. And it's happened because this girl, I'm just telling you now, what we did, I'll let you in on a little secret because we're all very competitive. So every week, everyone had to show up with a trio. We had a trio a week mentality. And because we're all leaders and we all, pardon this for being too blunt, but I'd say pull up your big girl panties and show up to the dance. We don't need you to come here and tell us what a great trainer you are. You need to show up showing you got the goods to lay it on the table every week, bring your trio. And if you don't bring your trio, then you're going to sign a $5 bill and put it in the pot. And it was basically a humiliation pot as you have to put that $5 in. And so you really don't want to let go, even though it's not a lot of money. It's got your name on it, and it shows that you didn't show up a week. So every week, Laura would say, Stacy, I'm going to take those boy money. And yet it's funny because when we started, Laura was the one who said, I'm not competitive. But what was really neat is she was inspired by the team that she has. And I've loved the fact this is a woman that is led by her heart and by relationships. Laura, you have led the charge, certainly in trios. And unless somebody does something between now and Monday, I think you're going to take that pot of all those $5 bills. But tell us, what has been your aha, and what are we going to get to take away from you tonight?
My three aha moments, the first one that I really learned from this group is to align yourself, with people that are forward thinking. I think that, I've always kind of tried to associate myself and surround myself by people who can build me up, lift me up, and people that inspire me. I believe that, you're the sum of the 5 people you talk to the most. And, it's not a coincidence. If you hang out with people who are downers, you're going to start to feel down. If you hang out with people and surround yourself by people who are movers and shakers, you're going to start moving and shaking. And I think our group that we went through this push, pull, give leadership development group with you, we all had a little bit of moving and shaking in areas that we didn't have before. So I think that it's really important for those, especially in a leadership position, to have a group of others that can build you up, hold each other accountable. I just think that's really important. Just to keep focused, stay on track, stay fired up. This is the type of company, and I say this all the time, but I think the secret sauce is right there in the logo. It's in the phrase that we're powered by relationships, and that goes for people who, when you're looking to build your network, or if you're a leader that needs that extra juice, the tide rises when all ships rise. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit, slacking, or you're kind of worn out, or you don't know what else you can possibly do, put down an SOS. Get out there and, collaborate with your peers and within your own network. And if you don't have a network under you, go to the network above you. Go to the network next to you. Get combined with other people in this company who will hold you accountable, who want that partnership, and set some clear goals with each other. Have friendly competitions. Put $5 in the pot with your name on it, and take those people's money and challenge them to take your $5 bill. So, to do all that, some of the things that we focused on during this time in this group is to focus on income producing, relationship building activity. And here's the deal. I challenge you, before I get into this, I challenge you guys on this call to take a really good look at what we have here. Talk with your family, dig deep. James mentioned to figure out your why, and I'll tell you something, your why is probably not to earn money. It probably is at first, but the answer is not about the money. It's not about $1,000 a month or $20,000 a month or whatever. The answer is about what that money is going to do for you. What burdens is that money going to lift for you? What freedoms is that money going to provide for you and your family? So, once you figure that out, write it down, write it on paper, talk to somebody about it. But to make it happen, you've got to take action. And for starters, the first thing that I really recommend people doing to take action is you're going to need to make a decision. This is something I had to decide, especially for my place that I am in right now in my life, is do I want Solavei to be a hobby, or do I want Solavei to be a business? And that's something that you're going to have to really decide for yourself. If you want it to be a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby, and that's absolutely there's no problem with that at all. But if you want it to be a business, you're going to have to work it like a business, but it's going to pay you like a business. And so my tip that I kind of took away is focus on income producing activity. For me, during working hours, that's when I take action. And I will tell you, taking action is not designing websites, blasting out a bunch of emails, managing lists, placing ads. I mean, all that stuff is okay, but it's not action. Thinking about Solavei 18 hours a day, we call it Solavei fever, that's not action either. And that's really hard for some people to swallow. So you're going to have to maybe tweak where you're spending your time. Write down the tasks that you're focusing on. Honestly, I'm a list maker. I keep time logs. Especially when I was getting started in my business, I would keep a time log and figure out where am I spending my time, and is that time being spent on income producing activity. And during working hours, that's when I'm having conversations. That's when I'm following up with people and actually talking to people. It's during the off hours at night when I can't reach anybody, or I've decided not to work, during that hour. That's when I'm doing all the extra stuff that's not necessarily income. Just kind of, take a good look at where you're spending your time, and that's going to help you really get into the position where you can enroll people, with that time. I mean, action is enrolling people. If you're not personally sponsoring people, you don't have any activity. Being busy is not activity. In this particular compensation plan that we have with Solavei, it's super easy to share. And you have to build wide, not just deep, especially this compensation plan. You guys have all seen the past pay. The trick here is that the past pay, those numbers, that is exponential growth. That's going to happen when you build your network. That is going to grow exponentially. So you have to build wide so that you have enough in your personal network and your personal enrollments to keep up with that exponential growth. So you've always got to stay active. And then last but not least is to stay consistent. My favorite phrase is to follow up until somebody tells you to shut up. Look, people a lot of times need 3 or 4 or 5, even 10 times to see something and hear it before they finally get it. So look, here's the deal. This is my way of looking at it. I'm a really busy person. I always say that I want something or I want to do something, but I get busy, I forget, but I really did want it. And I even told somebody that I really wanted to do something, but they dropped the ball. Maybe they felt like they were going to be pushy because they didn't remind me, but here's the deal. I really wish people understood how busy I was, because then they would have reminded me and I would have absolutely done whatever it was that I said I wanted to do. So I treat other people as, look, you asked me for info, so I'm going to follow up with you until you tell me to shut up about it, because you're the one that asked me. So if I'm reminding you, I'm doing you a favor by reminding you. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like I'm like a little Google Calendar. I will remind you until you tell me to dismiss. So I'm just being a friend. I'm taking the focus off myself. I'm putting it onto them. If they wanted information, I'm giving that to them. It served me really well to actually be engaged with other people, be interested in them, not just to sound interesting for myself. And there's a really big difference. I really like to use the company's tools as excuses to follow up with people. And this will really help some of you guys that are on this call that maybe feel awkward about following up that third or fourth time. This is a little trick that I use, and I've used this for the last 15 years in this industry. Every time the company comes out with something, and Solavei is awesome at this. There is always something on Facebook that they're coming out with. There's there's press releases and all this stuff. Every time they come out with something, a new press release, that's a reason to check in with somebody. If you see a post on Facebook or have a conversation with somebody, or you read something on Ryan Murch's blog or Stacey's blog, read that, send it to them, and just put a personal note saying, hey, I read this article, it made me think about you. Hey, how are you doing? That is using an excuse to follow up with them, but it's not in their face, it's not down their throat, and people really appreciate being authentic. And I think that being authentic stands out more than an infomercial. And so that's really served me well. And the last little tip that I have to share, and it's really quick, and this is something that I had to learn years and years ago, because years ago, when someone told me no or they ignored me, I would cry, like literally cry. It was really embarrassing. But I would actually cry because I was emotionally attached to them saying yes to me. And I will tell you, you cannot get emotionally attached to the outcome. You can control your own actions, but you cannot control the outcome. The fastest way to fail in this type of business is to try to control it. So keep moving forward, keep connecting, keep engaging, keep it simple, keep it fun. Enroll new people, because if you chase someone and you get emotionally attached to the outcome on one person, you're going to miss the opportunity to connect with 10 new people who can transform and move your business into the exponential growth that you're seeing the movers and shakers have right now. Thanks for letting me share, Stacey.
Awesome, Laura. Well, we really appreciate it. And we know you've got some great content to be sharing with the folks that are on and registered for the webinar. And we're going to be shooting that out after the webinar once we gather it all together and get all the emails together. But tonight we have Ricardo Gloria, again, Social Networker 1. He is actually gone through the 30-day push as a draft behind one of these leaders, Karen and Randy Imhoff. And because of what's happened in his group, we are actually getting ready to take him and his entire team through the push the next 30 days. Now, I can already tell you this guy is on fire. He's got socials going on every single week, multiple times a week. These folks are incredible leaders, compassionate, humble, and I think that's probably their secret sauce, is they truly are about empowering others. Ricardo, are you there with us?
Sí, señorita. Well, I know we've gone past the hour, Stacey. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this national webinar. Well, after hearing all the wisdom from all those great speakers, it's going to be hard to, it's going to be some big shoes to fill in, but I'm going to try to just share what's working for our network, Stacey. And I'm going to tell you, you really don't have to be a great speaker. You really don't have to be the great motivator. You really don't have to be Mr. Know-It-All. Guys, you can do it all by yourself. And I'm going to share just a few keys, and then I'm going to give you a secret, which is not a secret anymore because most of my network knows it, but I'm going to give you a few keys. The first one is, if you guys have days off, if you got afternoons off, if you got mornings off, go out there. Get out the house and put your Solavei shirt on. If you already made $50, $100, $200, invest that little money. Invest it back into yourself. Invest it into your business. Order some SIM cards. Get your business cards ordered. Get you a couple of shirts. brand yourself, and go out there. Go out with a happy face. And what we've learned, Stacy, is there is plenty and plenty and plenty of people out there looking for that opportunity. Heck, we've signed people that are over listening to somebody that we're trying to explain the information, and then that somebody's not interested, and then this other person comes and says, well, I'm interested. Can you give me the deal? So we just wonder how much people is out there that are looking for this opportunity. However, if we think just because we get our Wednesday off or our Thursday or our Friday or a Sunday, and that's the only time we have to rest, I'm going to tell you something, guys. If you don't get out there, if you stay home, trust me, that's the only day you're going to have to rest for the rest of your life, because things don't happen like that. The things happen on the street. The things happen out on the field. When you have your SIM cards and you got your business cards and you got a smile on your face, people want what you have. They don't even know, but they see the attitude. They want what you have. Another thing that we're seeing, Stacy, is so simple that there is a lot of people that are looking for the service. If we just share the service, guys, and we put the value on a $90 average a month plan, and we're giving it to you for $49 plus tax, unlimited everything, people want that service. People love it. We don't even need to tell them about the business, because a lot of times what I hear from the group is they don't want to join. And I'm asking them, join what? What'd you tell them? Well, they don't want to join the business. And honestly, guys, we got to understand more than 90% of the people out there don't have the business mentality. So if we just share the information for the service and put the value to it, then later share that if they bring a few people in, they can get, $20 refund, it's going to go a long way. So if we can just focus on sharing the service only and share it with everybody out there and get out and forget about your siesta. I told Stacy, I'm not your average Mexican. I really don't take siestas. I get out there and I get work done. So when you put your mind to it, you can make it happen. I mean, the last time we found out there was a lady, was a single mother, and she had 2.5 jobs. 2.5 jobs. I don't know how she does it. Single mom. And within the first month, she was able to leave her one full job, one half job, and she's working on getting rid of that main one. If she can do it, anybody can do it, guys. Now, I did say I was going to share a little bit of a secret with you. If before you go to bed, you remember to give God 5 minutes to thank Him and to ask Him to give you more wisdom, to give you more sharing for people, to give you the right words for the next day, and to give you a good night's rest. And when you get up, you ask Him 5 more minutes. Thank you for this day, and give me, again, the wisdom and the energy and the perfect words to tell people what they want to hear. If you only take 5 minutes before you go to bed and as soon as you get up, guys, that's a big secret. That secret, a lot of people forget it. It's so good, that secret, that it's almost like cheating, because then everything happens on your own way, on your own terms. God bless everybody. Thank you very much, Stacy.
Ricardo, that is incredible, and I have to concur with you. That would be my secret sauce as well. I'm careful to give God glory in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and try to live a life of prayer without ceasing. And certainly we do that on behalf of not only our network, but the entire force of Solavei. What you've heard from each one of these leaders is they're all telling you, get active, get out there. The early bird gets the worm. You're going to find that the people that are rising to the top of the company are not those that are letting no stop them. They're not the ones that are stopping just because someone wants to stick with a $150 AT&T bill. They're the folks that are finding a way to make it happen. And I encourage you, I know a lot of you are on this call tonight or on this webinar. Maybe you're listening to it afterwards, and you need this to happen for you. Well, I challenge you right now to re-listen to this, listen to these nuggets over the course of the next number of days. Of course, we're going to be sending out the give each week that we do this E3 strategy webinar. I'm going to ask each speaker to come on and always give back something to you, the listeners, so that you always have these takeaways to share with your team. Now, this week was a lot about principles that have changed their lives over the last 30 days. Moving into the next week, we're going to be talking about tactics. We're going to be talking about online marketing. We're going to be talking about blogging. how to promote your blog, monetization of your business and your brand, like we were talking with Nathan. Knowing how to monetize your brand, it's very important. Driving qualified traffic to your sites, creating valuable content. I'm going to be talking to you about some of the tools and the secrets of what I've done in order to have that trio week mentality and to consistently push forward. That is always my aim, online and offline. I'm going to show you how to maximize Facebook, how to capture more leads, how to create valuable content. And that's one of the trainings I was having for this team is don't just show up and tell the world what you know. Make sure you always walk away with a give. Give them something that they will remember you. Give them something that they can take and duplicate forward. So tonight, those of you who have registered with your name and email for this webinar, we are going to shoot that out to you via those emails. Now, additionally, Monday, we're continuing the March to a Million, and starting on Monday, the Solavei Scoop's going to take a twist. It's still the Solavei Scoop, but we're going to be adding in, because we're adding advanced tools at Solavei, we're going to be adding beginner training to online marketing. And I have been able to tap into an incredible vein of some of the best certified trainers, certified folks from Google, the creme de la creme. They are not all members of Solavei. They're just the best in the industry. And I just want to always be able to make sure that we are providing corporately and personally the best tools on a level of training that you can understand. And that you know it's always going to be 100% Solavei. There's not going to be other things wrapped up into it. We are going to be presenting the Solavei system. And starting next week, we're going to train you how to use it. Every single Monday, you're going to get a tip. And then you're also throughout the week going to be getting online training. We're going to have Google Hangouts and others that are going to be able to show you how to break it down, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate marketer, or whether you are a pro. We are certainly going to have a lot of tools available and tapping into a lot of the pros that are out there. So I thank you tonight for being a part of this webinar. Here is your take action for the week. Go get on autopay if you're not already on autopay. In order to be a part of this last 30 days, these people couldn't even play if they weren't on autopay. They weren't even considered if they weren't on autopay. I said, that's a bare basic entry. You want to get your entire team on autopay. Number two, they had to be on the 1K challenge. You can do that at mysolavei.com. Take the 1K challenge. Number three, tap into the socials right now with CEO and founder Ryan Wirch at socials.solavei.com every weeknight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Then, of course, make it your aim. Use these strategies, some of the tools that are going to be sent to you. Become a thousandaire. You need to have a goal within 90 days or less to become a thousandaire. And the way you're going to do that is number five, have that trio a week mentality. Create your own accountability group. Who can you be accountable that's going to ask you, did you get your trio? And when you have to show up and say, well, I got 2, but I didn't get 3, let them hold you accountable to say, you know what, how's that showing up in the rest of your life where you're getting almost good? You know, when my kids come home with grades that I know they could have done better, I ask them, are we going to live a life of good? Or are we going to press ourselves to a life of great? Because there are rewards for both. And I want you guys to think about that same thing. What are you doing today that you didn't do yesterday? And what can you do tomorrow that you didn't do today? Because that is the way you as a leader will become a champion. And as a champion, you won't only rise to excellence, but you'll be able to maintain it as well. I thank you so much for being a part of tonight's webinar. Remember, now is the time. This is the place, and you are the ones to start the revolution. Again, I appreciate you for being a part tonight. My name is Stacey Wallace, and I'm believing the best for you.